Very good afternoon to one and all. This is Dr. Pranay Dute, and today we are going to see or we are going to have introduction about the earth sciences. Introduction about the earth sciences. This is a part of the first unit of your elementary physical and structural geology, uh, which is now you are learning in this semester. The objective of this lecture is to familiarize with the all the earth sciences branches, earth science and its branch. So all what about the earth science is all about. So what is earth science? The first question comes in your mind when you are study the earth sciences. What is the earth sciences exactly? What is the earth sciences? So earth sciences is nothing but the earth science is nothing but the study of earth and its neighbor in a space. So it's not only related to the earth. The earth science is not only related to the earth, but its uh, neighboring what we can say the different planet in the space. Basically, we divide earth science into four different branches or four different units. Basically, we divide this one in the four different branches. One is first is geology, meteorology, astronomy, and oceanography. Geology, meteorology, astronomy, and oceanography. This is the four different branches we have. Now, geology. First we see the geology, which is our subject which we study. So, geology is a deal with the composition of earth material, earth structure, and earth process. So, geology. Geo means earth, and logy means study. So, logy means science or study what. So, the geo means earth. So, earth study, basically earth study. The study of earth is comes under the branch geology. Study of earth is comes under the branch geology. That this one is deal with the composition of earth material, earth structure, and earth processes. This one is deal with the composition of earth material, earth structure, and earth processes. So this is your geology. Then you have a meteorology. After geology, you have a meteorology. So what meteorology is all about? Meteorology is all about the science of the atmosphere. We called meteorology the science of the atmosphere. So study of the atmosphere. So geology is only a study of the surface and subsurface, whatever the earth we have. In geology, we whatever the earth we have, we study that earth only. But what we have atmosphere, we have ocean, and the neighboring planet. So all of this need to study because the when we have a scientific study of all these things, we get a better knowledge, better understanding about the processes, and we can have a good values of to this all to the human and mankind. So, meteorology is the science of the atmosphere. Meteorology is the science of the atmosphere. The study of the atmosphere and how process in the atmosphere determine Earth weather and climate. So, what we study in the meteorology, study of the atmosphere. What we study in the meteorology, study of the atmosphere, and how processes in the atmosphere determines Earth weather and climate. Study of the atmosphere and how processes in the atmosphere determines Earth weather and climate. So whatever the study we have, on weather, climate, and all these phenomena, that is known as the meteorological studies. So weather is a what is the difference between weather and climate? That is a big question to ask. and it always having some doubt in the mind that what is the weather and what is the climate. I will explain you what is the weather and what is the climate right now. So weather is nothing but the uh, condition, a condition, or we can say the prevailing condition of a particular area on the day by day basis or monthly basis or yearly. That is your weather, short term condition of any area, including your temperature, pressure, and your humidity. And so there is many parameters we can discuss. So that the short term parameter we are considered under the weather. What is the your what we can say the climate? Climate is nothing but the a long term or what we can say the uh, long term condition of the weather. Long term weather condition of an area is known as climate. Short term condition is known as weather. Long term condition of any area is known as climate. So this is the difference between weather and climate. Then you have astronomy. Then you have astronomy. So astronomy is the study of the universe and the heavenly bodies. So first branch is geology, second one is your meteorology, and third one is your what we can say the astronomy. Astronomy is the third one. So study of the universe and heavenly bodies means whatever the bodies or star and planets you find in the uh, universe, that's all are under the your astronomy. Then you have oceanography. Then you have oceanography. Oceanography is the science of the ocean. Oceanography is the science of the ocean. So what the oceanography is all about? What the oceanography is all about? Oceanography is nothing but the science of the ocean, which study of the earth ocean, their composition, movement, organism, and process. So oceanography is the science of the ocean. So oceanic study we have, whatever the oceanic study we will do, that will comes under the this oceanography. So study of the earth ocean, their composition, movement, organism, and processes are known as oceanography. Study of the earth ocean, their composition, movement, organism, and processes are known as oceanography. Then you have importance of studying the earth sciences. What is the importance of studying the earth sciences? And understanding of the rocks and mineral. What is the why we are studying the earth sciences? What is the important behind the studying the earth sciences? Why we choose the earth sciences as a subject? The understanding of the rocks and the mineral. Understanding of rocks and mineral that make up the solid earth, and how this material interact with the atmosphere, the world water supply, and living organism provide the foundation for all natural and environmental sciences. So when we understand about the rock mineral which is made, so whatever your earth is all about, that earth is made up of the different mineral, different rocks and different particles. And these rocks and minerals have been studied in the earth sciences. So when we study this one in earth sciences, when we study this one in earth sciences, this mineral material is also interact with the this material is also interact with the atmosphere. So when you have a atmospheric interaction between this one, so you should have a basic knowledge about these things. The world water supply and living organism provide the foundation for all natural and environmental sciences. Okay, so world water supply and living organism provide the foundation for all natural and environmental sciences. The importance, the another importance of the earth sciences, studying the earth sciences, can lead to discovery of sources, energy, mineral and resource and fresh water. You have mining geology under the geology section, mining geology, hydrology, mineralogy. All these are the part of the geology's branch. So whatever the new discoveries of the energy, okay, I mean you have a uranium deposit, you have a thorium deposit and all. Then you have mineral resources and fresh water. So whatever the mineral resources and fresh waters are there, whatever the mineral resources and fresh water are there, they all are studying under the geology section. Then you have a importance of studying the earth sciences. Again, the understanding the dynamic structure of the earth crust. So we have earth crust, metal, and core. So when you understand the dynamic structure of the earth crust and interior help us to predict and avoid the natural hazards. So this the what is the importance of studying the earth sciences? What is the importance of studying the earth sciences? Uh, Importance of studying the earth sciences is to know the or to have the understanding the dynamic structure of the earth, understanding the dynamic structure of the earth, and the interior help us to predict and avoid natural hazards. So whatever the natural hazards we have, what the natural hazards we have? A landslide phenomena, then you have a wild fire, hurricanes, tornado, tsunami, flood, and all. So these all are the phenomena, and for the prediction of this phenomena, you need a proper understanding about the processes, all processes. What you need to predict and the evaluation of hazard, the evaluation of hazard need a proper understanding about the processes. So these all processes we study under the earth sciences. This all study we study under the earth sciences. Then studying the rock record gives the insight into past environment changes from which may able to make a prediction about how earth could be changed. So the basic one principle about the earth sciences geology given by the father of geology James Hutton, present is the key to the past. Present is key to the past. So whatever the processes that is operating now is a just a extension of the previously occurred activity. So it's not happened like that. So whatever the activities, the river is flowing and all this ocean and all the mechanism are going on, they are suddenly come into existence. It's not like that. This all the processes are starting from the billions of year and now it's going to continue till that. Flowing a river and your air and your organism and all this earth science related phenomena has been so going on since the last few decades, for past few sorry billions of years. So by studying this rocks record, give us the insight into past environment changes from which we may able to make prediction about how the earth would change in the future. Now we are comes to the next topic is our solar system. So you know that where you are now living on a Earth, which is the part of the which planet, which galaxy, which who is the what is the satellite for the national satellite for the Earth, and also these all studies are done in a solar system, or we can have this solar system study. So, what is the solar system? What is the solar system? The solar system is made up of all the planet. The solar system is made up of all the planets that orbit our sun. In addition to planets, the solar system also consists of the moons, comet, asteroid, minor planet, dust, and gas. So the solar system is made up of all the planets that orbit our sun. In the addition to planet, the solar system is also consist of moons, comet. So solar system is made up of all the planets that orbit. So our sun is a major, you can say the sun is a major thing, and all the planets are rounding and the part of this solar system, all the planets. So in addition to the planets, the solar system also consists of moons, the different moons, comet, asteroid, minor planets, dust, and gas. These all are the these all are the part of solar system. Everything in the solar system orbit or revolve around the sun. The sun contains around 98% of all the material in the solar system. The sun contains around 98% of all the material in the solar system. The larger an object is, the more gravity it has. Because the sun is so large, its powerful gravity attracts all the other objects in the solar system toward it. So the the solar system is nothing but everything in the solar system orbit or revolve around the sun. The sun contains around 98% of all the material in the solar system. The sun contains around 98% of all the material in the solar system. So you can just have a look at that how big the sun are. The sun is a very big unit. On the other hand, the planets are very small in comparison to the sun. As far as the solar system is there, the larger the object, the more the gravity it has. Because the sun is so large, its powerful gravity attract all other objects in the solar system toward it. So the satellite, any such object in the space that moves in the definite orbit around larger body is known as satellite. Okay. So Earth is a satellite of the sun. Earth is a satellite of the sun, revolving at speed of about 66,600 miles per hour. So that is the speed of the Earth, which is move around the Earth. So how many kilometer it has been covered by the Earth to Sun? You can imagine. So if collision happen, what you have many planets. Other than planet, you have many meteorites, many comet, and many other things in the your system, solar system. So if that one is collide to each other, if that one is collide to each other, the the Earth collide. If the Earth is collide with the thousand of small member of the solar system every day, so Earth is collide with the thousand of small member of the solar system every day to the another one. But what happened? The because of the there is a you have a different layer around Earth, ionosphere and all that will be in the what we can say the outer space. It can be collide and destroyed. So yes, Earth has been collide a thousand of small member of solar system every day. So because of they are very small one, they are get destroyed in the outer space only. They cannot come to the Earth surface and all. So how did the solar system form? So that is a big question to ask, and there is a many theory behind this one. So formation of the solar system theories are two different theory has been explained: planetesimal theory and nebular theory. So now, according to the first theory, the star passed close to the sun. Huge tides were raised on the surface. Some of this erupted matter was torn free and by the cross pull from the star was thrust into the elliptical orbit around the sun. The smaller masses, the smaller masses is the smaller masses quickly cool to become solid bodies called planetesimal as their orbit cross the larger bodies grew absorbing. So nebular theory is another theory which we discuss. What is the nebular theory? What is the nebular theory and what is all about this theory? The nebular theory is developed by the Kant, Immanuel Kant. What he suggests? He given the scientific form by the labs at the end of 18th century. So it's a very not a very old thing. It's only 200 years back. You have a nebular theory, assuming that the solar system is in the first state was the nebula. That's why it is called as nebular theory. So he suggested that, or he assumed that there is a nebula. There is a nebula, a hot and slowly rotating mass of rare field matter, which gradually cooled and contracted. The rotation becoming more rapid in turns give the nebula a flattened disc-like shape. In time, ring of the gaseous matter become separated from the outer part of the disk until the it diminished nebula at the center was surrounded by the series of rings. So out of the material of each ring, a great ball was formed, which by shrinking eventually become a planet. The mass at the center of the system considered condensed to form a sun. So the sun is actually a large star. A sun is actually a large star because the sun is very closer to us than any other star. It appears as a ball of orange, yellow or white light in the sky. So because sun is very large star and it's very close to us, that's why we can see the sun as a large star. Otherwise, there is a many star in this open space, but because they are not closer to us and they are not bigger enough, so we can do not have that much of uh, what we can say the uh, we cannot visualize the things. So, like most stars, the sun is a large mass of hydrogen and helium gases. Like most stars, the sun is a large mass of hydrogen and helium gases that constantly burn and regenerate, giving off heat, energy, and light. So, like most stars, the sun is the large mass of hydrogen and helium gases. It's constantly burn. So, hydrogen, helium are get together, what we can say, collide to each other and burn, and that generate a energy and light. So you have the sun. The sun is a vital. The this is a sun is a bigger one, and you have a statistic about sun. So we have enough statistic about sun studied by the different meteorologists, these different astronomologists, and the space agencies, so like NASA, German Space Agency, and all. So the mass of the sun is what you have on the screen, 1.989 into 10 into the power 30 kg equal to 3 into 3 into 10.5 times of the Earth mass. So you can able to understand how big the sun is. How big the sun is. Then the radius, the visual radius of the sun is 6 into 6.960 into 10 raised to the power 5. Then you have a luminosity which is 3.827 into 10 raised to the power 20. Then you have a mean angular diameter. Then you have a rotation period which is equatorial into 25 days. Then you have a mean density, distance from the earth, mean light travel time to earth, that is 8.32 meter minutes. Mean temperature is 5800 K. Then you have a center at 1.55 to 10 in 10 to the power 7 K. Composition, the composition of the sun is it having a 74% of the hydrogen. The 74% of the mass is hydrogen and 25% of the helium. So most of the mass of the sun is hydrogen plus helium. Hydrogen plus helium is the most mass of the sun. The composition of atom 92, because you know that hydrogen is having bigger atom size. This one is a. Then you have a distance from the center of galaxy 26 light year. Orbital period around the center of galaxy 20 to 20 million year. Orbital speed around the center of galaxy 220 kilometer per second. So this is all are the statistic about the sun. This is what the mass of the sun, and this is what the mass of the earth. There is a huge difference between mass of the sun and mass of the earth. So our sun has diameter of 1.4 million kilometer, and earth has diameter almost 13,000 kilometer. So sun is a very big unit when we are comparing this to the sun. So our sun has diameter of 1.4 million kilometer, and Earth diameter is of almost 13,000 kilometer. 13,000 kilometer. If the sun were the size of an official league basketball, Earth would have been little dot no more than 2.2 millimeter. So this is all about the sun. More. So this is a more fact about the sun. This is a more fact about the sun. About 93 million miles. So what is the your in the sun and this one? The sun is 93 million miles. Sun is 93 million miles. Uh, the sun is 8 lakh 60,000 miles wide. The sun is 8 lakh. Sun is 8 lakh 60,000 miles wide. About 109 Earth could fit inside the Earth. The sun is about 93. Sun is about 93 million miles away from the Earth. The sun does not have any air or water and is too hot for the anything to live there. The sunlight takes 8 minutes to travel to the Earth at the speed of light, which is 1 lakh 82,200 miles per second. The sun's surface is rough with the flare, spikes, waves, and storm happening all the time. The cooler areas known as the sunspot appearing periodically. The different kinds of layer of the sun. You have a different layers of the sun, which is known as the inner layer is the core. The inner layer is are the core, radiative zone, convection zone. So this is a different layer. This is the different of the sun. This is a different layer of the sun. The outer layer are the photosphere, chromosphere, and the corona. So this is a the different kind of layers we have. Structure of the sun. The structure of the sun. The sun is having a corona, chromosphere, photosphere, convection zone, core. So these all are the source of the all the sun energy. The has a very high temperature, more than 15 million degree Kelvin, and the material in the core is very tightly packed or dense. Material in the your earth is core is very tightly packed and dense. Then you have a layer of the sun, a different layer of the sun. Uh, the the different layer of the sun is corona and this all. It's not the corona what we have. Uh, then then what uh, then what next? Next is the layer of the sun is a photosphere. Sun photosphere. So it reaches from the surface to the it reaches from the surface visible uh, to the sun. Then you have a chromosphere. Then you have a chromosphere. A chromosphere and irregular layer above the photosphere where the temperature rises from 6,000 degrees Celsius to 20,000 degrees Celsius. At this higher temperature, hydrogen emit light that gives off a reddish color. Then you have a corona, that is the outermost layer of the sun, starting about 1300 miles, starting from the 1300 uh, 20 21 kilometer, 2100 kilometer. The You have a different kind of solar activity. We have a different kind of solar activity like sunspot, prominence, and solar flares. What is sunspot? Sunspot is nothing but a sunspot is nothing but a dark irregular patches of the photosphere, dark irregular patches of the photosphere, which is having a gigantic area of the solar surface, which having a extending outward from the sun surface, often in a loop or shape, billowing arcs of the gas, representing the completion of the loop of flowing gas. Then you have solar flares occur when the magnetic energy that atmosphere is suddenly released, and so that's how you have this one. Then you have a different planets. We have a different planets. What that planets are in? So the planets has been divided into two different parts or two different things. We generally divided planets. One is inner planet. One is inner planet. The four planets closest to the sun are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The four planets closest to the sun are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. All four of these planets are made up of rocky material, and therefore it is called as a terrestrial planet. Rocky material called as a terrestrial planet. These planets are also known as the inner planet. These planets are also known as inner planets. So these all are known as the terrestrial planet and inner planet also. So first planet in this sequence is the Mercury. So you have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and this all. So Mercury is the first planet from the sun. It is the closest one to the sun. A big metal ball of iron. It is a big metal ball of iron. So composition of this one is a iron. Then it contains almost or no air. So you don't have any air in a Mercury. Just a little bit larger than the Earth, Moon. A smallest planet in our solar system, fastest moving planet in our solar system. During the daytime, the temperature is hotter than the oven. During the night, the temperature is colder than the your freeze. So there is a biannual temperature difference. So there is a large difference between the temperature of highest and lowest. The planet nearest to the sun has a diameter of 3,000 miles. The planet which is the nearest to the sun has the diameter of 3,000 miles. And about two-fifths of the Earth's diameter, Mercury has a spin orbit resonance rotating three times for every two revolutions around the sun. A day on a Mercury lasts about the 59 Earth day. So you can imagine what is how difference the days are there. So the Mercury is having a thin atmosphere, extremely small amount of helium, hydrogen, oxygen, and sodium. The gravity is 0.38 of the Earth. So if you jump in on a Earth for 10 feet, on a Mercury it may be go for the 26 feet. So this is the difference between the for the gravity. Air pressure is a none. So temperature is 840 Fahrenheit, so the 450. So you can't survive there. So that is the truth for which come from this statistic. Then second one is a Venus. The second planet is a planet closest to the second closest to the this one or sun and closest to the earth, and has more volcanoes than the any other planets in our system. So it's often have a volcano. Venus is having a often having a volcano. So the hottest planet in the solar system atmosphere is made up from the mainly carbon dioxide. This gas is act like the glass in the greenhouse and keeps the surface of the planet hot. Inside planet Venus, Venus is often visible to the naked eyes in the morning and evening sky. It has often been called Earth twin because of the similar size. So Venus is always called as a this one. So gravity is more or less similar to the Earth. The gravity is more or less similar to the Earth, but the temperature is again is having a higher temperature than the your Earth. Third one planet where we live, our Mother Earth. So Earth is the third planet from the Sun, has one moon, what we call as a Chandrama, and fifth largest planet in our solar system. Atmosphere of the Earth is mainly made up of nitrogen, which is more than 70%, oxygen, water vapor. This is all are the what we can say the atmospheric condition or of the sun. The only planet in the solar system with atmosphere and that can sustain the life. So this is all about the Earth. Then you have Mars. So Mars is considered as a red planet. We have a mission about the Mars from the ISRO, and many countries is having a mission on Mars. It's an accessible one, as this is a nearest one from the Earth. It's too cold and liquid water to exist for any length of time, but feature on the surface suggests that water once flowed on the Mars. So whatever the study, geological study, and whatever the studies from the satellite images we did on the Mars, they suggest that there is an impression of, or that is a whatever the Mars we found on the Mars. What we can say, mm, uh, what we can say they having a says what we can say they have a mark as a that there is a water there. Okay. Then you have a inside planet Mars. Then you have a inside the planet Mars. What you have, Mars is again a 0.38. Uh, Mars is again a 0.38. Um, Means whatever when we called seen some of the videos of some of the astronaut which visit to the Mars, they seem to be jumping on that Mars, whatever the photos what we can see the. So no, that is on moon and oh, sorry. So this is about the Mars. Then again, the other than this one, you have outer planets. So this is all are the inner planet. We see the different properties of the inner planet. Then you have a outer planet. The remaining five planets in our system is a outer planet. So the first four planets are the that planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Jupiter, Saturn, Saturn, Uranus, and uh, the first four of this planet are also known as the gas giant. Their atmosphere consists mainly of hydrogen and helium. These planets have soapy surface and gets denser as you sink to the middle. Not possible to land on. The outermost planet Pluto is unique among the outer planets. Why? Because of their revolution. The largest panel diameter is 11 times larger than the Earth diameter. Its mass is greater than the masses of all the other planets combined. So you can imagine how much big the Jupiter planet is. It's a very stormy planet. The storms are very common. You can also see from the any of the image which taken of the Jupiter. The storms are very common there. Storms are very common there, and it's having a very large diameter. It's having a very large diameter. The inside your Jupiter, what the inside of your Jupiter, this is the largest planet in our solar system. Jupiter could hold more than 1200 Earth. You can imagine that what is the mass of the this Jupiter is having. It can hold a 1200 Earth, more than 1200. So what we have on the front of your Jupiter? We are nothing in the front of Jupiter. So the atmosphere is a more turbulent. 89% of the hydrogen, 10% of the helium plus trace gases. So Earth is gravity of this one is 2.4 of the Earth, means 2.4 times of the Earth. So surface condition, air pressure, and this one is more in this one. Then the next one is a Saturn. The next planet is a Saturn. So Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system after your previous one. One is also a lightest planet, has a beautiful ring made of ice and rock. So we always see in the Shani and that all the Shani Grahan and also is having the Saturn is a beautiful ring. Its atmosphere is a cloudy and windy, or more of windy. So Saturn is having a gravity is equal to the Earth. The gravity of Saturn is are equal to the Earth. It's not having changes too much. The magnificent ring system of the Saturn composed almost entirely of water ice chunks that are under the 30 feet in the diameter. Then the next one, you have a Uranus. The next planet you have a Uranus. So its Uranus is very cold, windy, and like most of the other planets, poisonous to human. Coldest planet. Uranus is a gas giant. So whatever the your inner planet and outer planets are, some of most are the terraneous one, and this one all are the gaseous one. So scientists are also believe that on the surface of Uranus there may be a huge ocean, and some scientists think that the ocean may have a very hot, maybe even hot as a 2760 degrees Celsius. So inside the Uranus, the gravity is same more or less to the Earth. The surface condition is 23 degrees Celsius, 2300 degrees Celsius temperature is there. Image of this is the image of the Uranus taken in 2007 by Hubble Space Telescope, which is one of the largest and beautiful telescope, which take almost most of the good photograph of the system. Okay. Then the Neptune, you have Neptune. Neptune is a very windy place. No other planet in the solar system has wind that are as strong as Neptune. This is a windy place, has not definite surface layer instead of gas. Most distant planet from the sun, Neptune is the third most massive despite its great size. It was the last planet to discover because it lies so far away. So distance from the sun is so far away, and that's why it is a found lastly. So it inside this one you have a more or less the same gravity. Temperature is or wind at So the Neptune has the fastest wind in the solar system, up to 1300 millions per hour. So that is a big number. Then Pluto, which is the uh, revolution is not as per the what we can say for the solar system. So it's because of the minor gravitational effect, bodies around it remain one of the most well-known non-planetary bodies of the solar system. So in 2006, it has been demoted to the dwarf planets because of its revolution is not following or not satisfying the rules. So inside the Pluto is having a 0.66 gravity only, so you don't have any gravity. Pluto is looks like this is the image of the Pluto. So this is all are the planets of the Earth. These all are the planets of the Earth. This is a small introduction about the Earth science, what we are studying in Earth science and all. This is a MCQ question about this subject. You can go and solve this MCQ question when you have a time. So this is all the MCQ question you have. Now, thank you for listening this lecture. Thank you all for listening this lecture, and I hope you understand all the topic very good. Thank you.